Okay, we're officially live. Give it a few moments for people to jump in from the socials. What's going on, everyone? Swinging Bull here. We got FedEx and Nike reporting earnings. Regular session just ended. We are now in the post market. What's up, y'all? Streaming on YouTube and X. All right. Also streaming on Twitch. All right, let's take a look. FedEx and Nike. FedEx is supposed to report right at 4, so we'll get the data any moment now. Their forecast EPS $4.07, forecast revenue $22.8 billion. We'll see what they end up reporting and how the stock price reacts. They're trading a bit above their anchored VWAP. Their anchored VWAP just above 250 a share. Nike is supposed to report at 4:15. Hey, what's up, Nikki? Got a bunch of people on the socials and the stream right now, hanging out. Nike reports at 4:15 p.m. Eastern. Forecast EPS 37 cents. Forecast revenue $12.15 billion. They're trading just below their anchored VWAP. Look at the annual chart here from Earnings Whispers. All right, let me go back. Intraday candles here. Should be getting a reaction on FedEx any minute now. Any moment, should I say. Let me pull up my other screen. Get ready to get the EPS and revenue. Okay. It's getting an initial negative reaction so far. I'll go to Webull, actually. Look at this 1 minute chart. What's up, y'all? Almost 300 people in here now. It's Thursday. Got one more day. Christmas is next week. Of course, the market's closed next Thursday. Wednesday's a half day. Okay, got some volatility on FedEx. They wicked down at 284 and came right back up. There is a sell side imbalance on the order book. We'll see if that goes away or not. We've got a little bit of time before Nike. About 10 or 15 more minutes. All right. Let's take a look at a few other things. The last 2 months alone on FedEx gone up 30%. Yeah, it's been on quite a run, hasn't it? Look at that. Straight from April. It was a little choppy after, like in July, but this thing's been mooning. All right, let me go back 1 minute chart. Okay, candlesticks are still jumping around. Not quite sure what the reaction is going to be yet. Almost 600 people in here now. Swinging Bull with PB alerts. Do these earnings streams every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And just want to remind everyone we're doing a $50 giveaway. I know it's not a ton of money, but $50 is $50. If you want to enter, it's free to enter. You don't need to be a member of any special group or anything like that. But there's a link in the description. It's free to enter. Tell your friends, family, anyone can enter. I'll post the link in the comments too. Because who doesn't like free money, right? Here, I'll put that on the bottom of my screen. pbalerts.com/giveaway. All you got to do is enter your email address. You'll be entered into the drawing. All right, let me go back to FedEx here because I'm thinking the data's out. It's just indecision. Candles are just kind of bouncing around and kind of working on like a little doji candle print right now. All right, let's see. Looks like I'm still waiting on the data. I don't know if they've released yet. I don't think they've released yet. Maybe it's at 405. It's 404 right now. About to be 405. Let me go back to Webull. Oh, I'm on Webull. Okay, while we're waiting for FedEx, and again, Nike's not for another 10 minutes, so we got to wait on that. But going into the earnings, FedEx trailing 12-month PE was nice and positive, 16.7. EPS nice and positive, 17. They do pay a 2% dividend. Let's see how often they pay that, probably quarterly. Okay, their last ex-div date was just the other day, December 15th. And the one before that was in September. And then June. So yeah, they pay a quarterly dividend. Go back to intraday here. All right, still waiting on this thing to make a move. It's 4:05. And again, we already went over the forecast. It's from the earnings correspondent. EPS 4.11, revenue 22.8 billion. Kind of still waiting. Let me check again. What's up, y'all? Over 700 people in here now. We just hanging out. Week's almost over. Hope everyone had a good week. We've been having a lot of fun in the Discord. Okay, I got a bunch of contracts I wrote that they're all expiring tomorrow, so I should have a nice payday tomorrow. I wrote some contracts on Bull, wrote some contracts on Mara, wrote some contracts on JetBlue. I wrote some contracts on UMAC, which is a drone company. I know Bull's kind of been downtrending lately, but I just been selling contracts on it, waiting for shares to appreciate. So just collecting some income while I'm waiting. But yeah, tomorrow should be a nice payday. That's what we say, like Friday's our payday, right? Because most of our contracts that we write expire on Friday. So like Friday's our payday. Okay, here we go with FedEx. Finally making somewhat of a move. It just wicked up to 298. Now FedEx closed a regular session at $287.13 a share. You see, they're up 2.5% right now. Trading just above 290 or 294. I'm assuming their earnings are out. So let me check my source page over here and get that info for everybody. I'm going to go to their investor relations page. Let me do that. What's going on? Okay, it's popping up now. Sell side imbalance went away, basically. Buyers got control of the ball right now. This 1 minute chart. I'm going to draw a fib on this. Just kind of see where we're at. I'm just going to go from the bottom of this red candle, like right where it closed the regular sessions, where I'm going to draw it from. Just kind of see where we're at here. Okay. Let's take a look. So it's kind of bouncing on this 25% retrace right here. Okay, coming down further. Retrace 50% of that move so far. All right, getting mixed signals with the price action on FedEx. All right, data's got to be out. Let me check again. All right, here we go. Got some good data here from Wolf Financial, one of our partner companies. What's up, y'all? 800 people in here now. Okay, for FedEx, revenue came in at 23.47 billion. Estimate was 22.7 billion. So they beat revenue. Okay. Profitability line item, as far as EPS goes, earnings per share. They surprised big on EPS. FedEx did. The estimate was 4.11, like we were talking about earlier. And they just reported 4.82. So they beat EPS by like 0.71. That's a pretty considerable surprise there on EPS for sure. The outlook, let's look at the outlook. Okay, the outlook for EPS, they gave a range, 17.80 to 19. And that's for the fiscal year. The estimate was 18.22. So I suppose you could say they raised it, the top end of that, but they posted a range for it. So the estimate kind of falls in the middle. Fiscal year revenue growth. They're projecting 6% from 5%. So they're increasing the revenue growth outlook a little bit. And what's up, Pookie? How you doing? Just going over FedEx earnings here. Strategic update. Still on track to spin off FedEx Freight on June 1st, 2026. FedEx Freight took $152 million one-time spin-off related costs in Q2. A bit of interesting information there. And for those almost 900 people tuning in now, for those just joining, we are doing a $50 giveaway. Links on the bottom of my screen. It's free to enter. No obligation whatsoever. Get that free money. All right, let's look at year-over-year, quarter-over-quarter numbers. Nike should be reporting in about 5 minutes. But for now, I'm going to go back to TradingView for a second. For now, let's look at the year-over-year, quarter-over-quarter numbers. Okay, so again, FedEx, double beat. EPS was a double-digit percentage beat. That was a good surprise they did there. Year-over-year, there's some growth there. EPS and revenue. EPS was up 19% year-over-year. They're crushing it on the EPS front. Revenue up 7% year-over-year. EPS, again, double-digit growth for the quarter-over-quarter, so that's good. Revenue also showing some growth, up 6% quarter-over-quarter. So we got a positive reaction. FedEx closed the regular session just above 287 a share. They're trading at 293 right now. So they're up over $6 a share right now. What's up, Onrod? Good to see you over here in the Discord. And my buddy, the doctor, has been trading spreads and writing contracts with me for a few years now, right, doctor? We've been trading together for a good while now. Okay, so again, just to summarize, FedEx double beat, year-over-year growth, quarter-over-quarter growth. You could say they raised the outlook. They definitely raised the outlook on the EPS. The outlook for the well, excuse me, the EPS. Let me go back a little bit. The outlook for the EPS, the estimate was 18.22. They gave a range of 17.8 to 19. So like I say, I guess you could say they raised it on the top end, but the estimate falls in the middle of that. And they increased the revenue growth outlook to 6% from 5%. But it looks like positive data for FedEx. I'm going to post their results in the Discord real quick, and then yeah, so I guess the way to explain it as far as the guidance, they raised the low end of the full year guidance. That's probably how I would say it. So let me post this on the bottom of my screen. I'll leave it up there. I'll put the giveaway link back up in a little bit, but double beat for FedEx. Price is green. It did come off the after hours high a bit though. Came all the way up to like 297.50. Now it's back down to a little over 290. I'll trade just below 291, I suppose. Let me take a look at a few other things here. I'll draw it right here. Okay, so basically 289 a share. That's my support in the after hours, short-term looking view. Let me look at the bigger time frame. Let me remove some of these old drawings here. There we go. All right, so yeah, I mean, FedEx has been higher. They've been in the 300s before. This is the daily chart here. Let me scroll back a little bit. We go weekly chart. There we go. Yeah, according to the weekly chart on TradingView, their all-time high is $319.90 a share. So they are trading, you know, close to the top of the bigger time frames going into this earnings. Oh, it looks like we're getting a reaction on Nike over here on the right. Look at that. It's Came all the way down to 62.50-ish around there. Closed the regular session at 65.63. But if FedEx ends up trending up, investors are liking the earnings data. You see here it's trading just above 290. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to go off the top of these candles here. So 310. I like 310 as a price target if the buying pressure keeps up. Maybe it turns into like a multi-day trend or something. And they still got the earnings call coming up tonight, I would think. Probably at 4:30 or 5. I'll find out what time that is for everybody. But resistance level number 1, I'm going to put a level at 300 just because it's a nice even mental level. So R1, resistance 1, 300, and R2, 310. I suppose we could, let me go back to the daily chart. Probably put support levels. It's been riding this 9 EMA for a good while here. It's like a couple months, about 2 months of price action. Just riding this blue EMA pretty beautifully. That's the 9-day EMA, by the way, on the daily chart right there. 21 EMA would be like a secondary level if you like trading with EMAs. So support levels to the downside in case it does reverse. I'm just going to say 280 and 275. Keep it as simple as you can, folks. I like even numbers. 280 to 275. All right, let me go back intraday and see what it's doing. All right. This is the 1-minute chart. And once again, it's riding this 9 EMA. It wicks down to the 21 every now and then, but as far as post-market price action, probably put support at 291 and 290, just $1 incremental levels, if you will. Okay, let me put this fib back on here. There we go. All right, so we got the data for FedEx. The data looks good. We're going to jump over to Nike here in just a moment. Let's find out when FedEx is going to do their earnings web call. Usually when they report around 4, they'll usually do it 4:30 or 5. Let's take a look. I'm going to go over to Nike here in a minute. I know there's Nike's got a big following of investors. All right, accept cookies. Yes, I accept the cookies. All right, let me pull this over just a little bit and let's look at this. Let me post this link as well for the FedEx investors out there. Put that in the comments for everyone. That's the link that'll get you to the FedEx earnings web call. I'll put that link on the bottom of my screen, leave it up there for a minute. And right here, you can get their latest financial results. So if you want a deeper dive into their earnings, I mean, we kind of just went over, a summary. They beat EPS, beat revenue forecasts, increased the guidance, year-over-year, quarter-over-quarter numbers look good. But if you wanted to take a deeper dive, this PDF document, right on that link I put on the bottom of my screen, once you go there, scroll down, you'll see latest financial results. And then there's a 17-page PDF document. You can take a deeper dive into that. We got a little bit of commentary too. This is from the president and CEO of FedEx. His name's Raj. And he says, FedEx delivered an outstanding second quarter as we successfully executed our growth strategy and advanced our network transformation while navigating a highly challenging external environment. He also says, I'm extremely proud of our team members worldwide for their commitment to make every FedEx experience outstanding this peak season. Positive comments from the CEO. Let's see here. Share repurchase program. FedEx has a share repurchase program. They completed a $276 million in share repurchases via open market transactions during the quarter. That makes sense. Look at the daily chart. This thing's been trending up for the past few months. Could be a lot of the them buying back the shares. That's what that tells me. Approximately 1.2 million shares were repurchased. Okay. Subject to market conditions, liquidity needs, and other factors, the company will continue to evaluate repurchasing additional shares of the common stock during the remainder of fiscal 2026. So this share repurchase program is ongoing. As of November 30th of this year, $1.3 billion remained available for repurchases under the company's 2024 stock repurchase authorization. So that stock repurchase program was authorized in 2024. Cash on hand as of November 30th, $6.6 billion. They got a ton of cash. And then they talk about their outlook and stuff like that, which we kind of went over a little bit already. All right, so the earnings for FedEx look good. Let me get out of this PDF document and let's see when the earnings web call is. Okay, right here. Okay, it's 4:30 p.m. Central Time is when they're going to do their earnings web call. So it's 5:30 p.m. Eastern, right? So we got the link for everyone for that, so we're good to go there. And their earnings web calls at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Let me go back intraday on this chart. Okay, yeah, I know they retraced basically 78% of the initial pump, but they're slowly climbing back up. They're already back up to the 50% of that pump. Next level up from there, 293.50. Not financial advice, but if you're trying to trade this with shares with limit orders and after hours, could be a level of interest right there. 293.50, then probably 295, and then after hours high 297.50. Easy levels you can keep in mind. Could be some little bit of profit taking at those levels, but all right. So we know what time FedEx is doing the earnings web call. It's in about an hour. Links in the comments for how to get there. I think their earnings look good. Let me just check a few other things just in case I'd missed something. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good. We covered it pretty well. I'm going to jump over. Well, let me look at a few other things. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I did find some more info for FedEx. They did beat operating income estimates. The estimate was 1.36 billion. They reported operating income of 1.6 billion. So they beat operating income estimates. Operating margin, they also beat that. Margin went up. It's good. Estimate was 6.07%. And they reported 6.9%. Nice and green beat on that. All right. And okay, so yeah, this is the guidance I was talking about earlier for the fiscal year 2026. They raised the low end of the EPS guidance. So the prior guidance was 17.20 to 19, and they adjusted the low end up to 17.8 to 19. So yes, they did raise the low end of the range of the EPS guidance. And the revenue growth, they're projecting 5% to 6% year over year. The prior guidance was 4% to 6%. So they raised the low end of the revenue growth as well. And CapEx, 4.5 billion. The estimate was 4.5 billion. So that came in line. Segment performance, okay, for Q2 2026. FedEx Express revenue, it's one of their segments. The estimate was 19.7 billion. They raised that up. Well, I'm sorry, the FedEx Express revenue, the estimate was 19.7 billion and they reported 20.4 billion. So they beat that. So lots of line items being beat here. The line items that they didn't beat, which is just a few, came in line. I'm not seeing much red flags here. And they got $6.6 billion in cash. And look at the price. It's right back up here at the they're trading above 294 now. So they're up almost $7 a share from where they closed the regular session. So it's looking like a grats to the FedEx bulls. And we talked about the share repurchase program already. All right. So, yeah, I think it's good. We can flip over to Nike. So FedEx, solid earnings report, the increased guidance, double beat, quarter-over-quarter growth, year-over-year growth is looking good for FedEx. And it's already broken into the 290s now. So what was those levels on the bigger time frame? Let me see. Yeah, it was I gotta zoom out a little bit. 300 is my next level to the upside on the bigger time frame, and then 310. Those would probably be some sweet profit taking levels, or just levels to be aware of. There could be some selling there. We'll go back to 1 minute chart and keep the chart on the left here, and then we'll talk about Nike. It's almost 4:30. I'm going to put that link up for the giveaway. Got over 1,000 people tuning in now. Hate to sound like a broken record, but we are doing a $50 giveaway for the holidays. It's free to enter. It's the link on the bottom of my screen. All right, let's take a look at Nike, because there's selling going on Nike right now. Let's find out why. Their EPS was down 32% year over year. Ouch. They did double beat, though. Their EPS expectation was 0.38. They did report 0.53. So they beat the EPS forecast, but when you scroll over to the year over year numbers, it's down 32%. Yikes. They did beat revenue forecast. Expectation was 12.2 billion. They reported 12.4 billion. Yeah, that 30 EPS being down 32% year over year, that's just sticking out like a sore thumb right there, isn't it? Quarter over quarter numbers there was a little growth there. Let's take a look. I'm gonna post let me scroll down a little bit here. All right. Yeah, I see the people. There's people on that saying huge beat on EPS, but they're not seeing the year over year getting smashed in a bad way. I love how analysts and people leave out the negative stuff and they just highlight the positive stuff. I like looking for red flags. Like, give me a reason not to invest with you, But let me post the results. Looks like I do got a little bit of commentary from the CEO and the CFO. So we'll go over that a little bit. And we'll find out when they're going to do their call. Probably going to be 5 or 5:30. Maybe it's at 4:30. Maybe it's in here in a few minutes. I'll find out, though. But let me post the hold on 1 second. Let me get a clean couple lines. Okay, this is fine right here. All right, let me post this in the Discord first. Yeah, Pookie cracking me up over here in the Discord. All right, I'm going to post this in the comments over here on YouTube and X. There's the initial Nike results. They beat EPS and they beat revenue. But not enough to excite investors, is it? Couple notes about Nike. Wholesale strength in North America offset weak direct and Converse sales amid portfolio repositioning. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see what else I can find here for everybody. Okay. Okay, they got a issue with margin. It looks like their gross margin decreased 300 basis points. That's probably what's freaking investors out right now. We want the margin to go up. That's not good. So 300 basis point hit on gross margin. That's probably what spooking investors a little bit right now. Wow. Yeah, gross margin came in at 40.6%. It is down 300 basis points. That's what's hurting them right now. Just I know a lot of people just jumped into this stream, but if you're here for Nike, they got margin issues, and investors are punishing them for it. Balance sheet and inventory. The quarter end inventories was 7.7 billion. But yeah, big margin issue for Nike. It's the easiest way I can explain it. Let me talk. Let me go over some of this commentary here. So this is the CEO and president of Nike, Elliott Hill. They say, now watch. I'm going to read through this commentary. How much you want to bet they just try and sugarcoat everything and totally avoid talking about the margin? We'll find out. Here it is. Here, Nike's in the middle innings of our comeback. We are making progress in the areas we prioritized first and remain confident in the actions we're taking to drive the long-term growth and profitability of our brands, said Elliott Hill. Fiscal 26 continues to be a year of taking action through Win Now, including realigning our team, strengthening partner relationships, rebalancing our portfolio, and winning on the ground. We're finding our rhythm in our new sport offense and setting ourselves up for the next phase of athlete-centered innovation in an elevated and integrated marketplace. So yeah, just like I thought, the CEO totally avoiding their margin issues. Just talking about what the future plans are, really. Here's some commentary from the CFO. And then we'll find out when their earnings web call is. And let's hear it, when that starts, you can hear it straight from them live. Look at Nike's just made a new after hours low. This closed the regular session at $65.63 a share. It was basically flat on the day, down 0.09%. Sitting here in after hours down just under 5%, which is a little over $3 a share. So I suppose it's not getting hammered, but it is getting a negative reaction, that's for sure. The CFO, his name's Matthew Friend. In the second quarter, we demonstrated the resilience of our portfolio, delivering modest top-line reported growth while managing headwinds from repositioning our business in a dynamic operating environment. And he says, we are making the shifts required to position our portfolio for a full recovery and driving real-time decisions in service of the long-term health of our brands. That statement just kind of shouts damage control, right? It's like they're just kind of tells me that he's just kind of talking about how they're going to, control damage that's been done. So we call that damage control. I guess the CFO is a little more transparent than the CEO. That's good. Transparency is good. Let's see where the levels are on the bigger time frames where there could be some support. I'll keep FedEx on the left here. FedEx still holding up. They're trading just above $2.92 a share. So they're up over $5 a share in after hours right now. All right, let's look at Nike. You can see the post-market price action down here at 62. So pretty clear just from the candle, $60. Let me see the volume though. Okay, I'm going to zoom out a bit more. There we go. Okay, yeah, it's going to be low 60s right here, right at the bottom of the shelf right there. That's right where the price bounced last month. Support level, I'm just trading at 62.50 right now, around there. Just going to put my S1 right there at 60. Could be a bounce off that level potentially. Next level down. Let's see. Yeah, $55. Because there was some increasing volume coming in from 55 leading up to 60. Well, 59 and then jumps to 60. But S1 on the bigger time frame, 60. S2, 55. Not, I'll put some levels on the top side of the price, but it's getting a negative reaction, so they might not come into play anytime soon or in the near future, but who knows? Sometimes we see these things reverse after they do the actual earnings web call, but $70 a share. I mean, you could call it like 69 to 70. Resistance 1, $70. That's fine for me. Let's go back intraday and see if it's trying to bottom or not. Maybe just above $62. Nice bottom wick on this green candle here. A bit of a hammer candle. This is for Mark Elders on YouTube. FedEx earnings call is at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. She's got about an hour for that. Here, I'll put the link on the bottom of my screen. This is from Mark. I'm just assuming your name's Mark. Mark Elder. You screenshot that. That'll take you right to their earnings web call. Just scroll down the homepage when you get there, and you'll see the events right there. A little link that will get you to the webcast, but it doesn't start until 5:30 p.m. Eastern. So you got a little bit of time, my friend. Okay, so back to Nike. I would draw a fib on this, but I'm not sure if the bottom's in. I'll put it on there anyway. From right here, that little hammer looking candle at the bottom of the selling. I'm going to draw it to basically where they close the regular session. Yeah, that'll be fine, right? Probably like right there. Needs to get back above $63 before I have any confidence that this is going to retrace back up. That's 25% retrace. That's level number 1 in post market. R1 63 on Nike. Let's see if maybe 62 holds as support or not. We'll need some additional candle prints to determine that. And okay, it's a little after 4:30. So yeah, I also wanted to find out when Nike's going to do their call. I don't think oh yeah, it's at 5:30. No, wait, that's FedEx. Let me go to Nike and find out when their call is going to be. So again, FedEx is at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Links on the bottom of my screen if you want to take a deeper dive into their earnings. They did have, I believe it was a 17-page PDF document you can download right off that site. You can see all the line items that I've been going over for the past 20, 30 minutes. All right, let me open up a new page here and find out when Nike is going to do their call. Let's take a look. Okay, let me slide this over. All right, let's take a look here. I want to go to news, events, and reports. We'll just click on that. Investor news. Yeah, Mark Elder on YouTube. Absolutely. Anytime, my friend. I'm actually not going to stream the call, but I do like to provide the links and the times for everybody. But what I do is I come on here before the calls, and we kind of assess the actual stock price reaction. We go over the data, EPS, revenue, any guidance, any of the other line items that may be important, like margin and stuff like that. And then we look at some technical analysis of where there could be some levels of interest on the bigger time frame. So we just got to come on here and have a little bit of fun before the earnings call. But no, I don't necessarily stream the earnings call. In the future, I'm going to talk to the staff over here in the Discord. Maybe I will start streaming the actual earnings calls. I'll just have to figure something out with that, with my schedule. But I think it can be done. But for Nike, let me get their link to their investor relations page. I'm going to put that in the comments as well. I'll post it in the Discord too, in case anyone wants that. There we go. And let's just take a look. If you want to see the press release, you can see right here under investor news. It's the first one, December 18th. And if you click on that, you'll get the press release, and they'll give some highlights about the earnings data, which I've already went over most of this. Again, the main thing, which they are being transparent in the highlights, is their gross margin decreased by 300 basis points. That's what's hurting them right now. And then this commentary is I've already went over. Hey, Mark Elder, yeah. No, but forward looking, I think I will start streaming them. But yeah, just so you know, I'm always here every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern, going over the actual the data drops and the stock price reactions and stuff. So we have a lot of fun. And then at the end of the stream, I usually go over some of my open trades and give everyone a peek under the hood on what kind of trades I have open and stuff like that. So anyways, let's find out when Nike's earnings web call is. Let me go back here. I'm going to go to, it's going to be under events and presentations right here. And here it is. So let's click on this and find out what time. Okay, 5 p.m. Eastern is when Nike, let me make this smaller so we can still see the price on Nike on the right. 5 p.m. Eastern is when Nike's doing their earnings web call. Let me put that on the bottom of my screen. Give people, I'll leave it up there for a minute, give people time to screenshot that. And once you get there, go to events and presentations, and then boom, it's right here. There's a link that says listen to webcasts. Click on that. They might make you fill out a form with your name and email. Don't worry, you're not going to get spammed. It's just Nike's keeping track of how many people are going to attend the web call. And you probably have opportunity to sign up for a newsletter or something if you are a Nike investor. All right. So again, just to recap, FedEx, solid earnings, double beat. They raised the low range of the guidance. They raised EPS guidance, year-over-year growth, quarter-over-quarter growth. Just a nice recipe for the bulls here. And we've already marked out some levels on the bigger time frames. If the momentum keeps going, I think this is an easy trade to $300, to be honest with you. And then if they can get past that and hold above 300, and I'm talking about, you know, like a daily candle closing above 300 and not getting rejected super quickly intraday, you know, something like that. My next target's 310 on this bad boy. So keep your eyes on it. I'll probably play the, we'll see where the price is at tomorrow, but I'll possibly do some call debit spreads on it. Maybe put like 30 days or 45 days of time on it and see if I can get that move up. And with the debit spreads, they'll be a lot more affordable than the naked options at the money or in the money. But with the debit spreads, I can still get triple-digit returns on those. So I'll just rinse and repeat those and see if I can ride the wave to 310. That's my plan. Not financial advice, just the kind of trades that I like to do. I do a lot of spread trades. So look at Nike. Just made a new after-hours low. They can't catch a break. And again, to summarize Nike, their earnings were good per se. They got crushed on the EPS year-over-year front. Even though they beat EPS forecasts, that's not the bigger picture. The bigger picture, so yeah, they beat EPS forecast by 39%. But way down on the bottom in fine print, the EPS is down 32% year over year. People are just skimming right by that piece of data and only looking at the green stuff. But in another issue, which I think is the bigger issue for Nike, their gross margin was down 300 basis points. Investors hate that. They want to see margin improving, not getting worse. So that's kind of the summary of Nike and why they're gotten the sell off, the little downtrend they're in right now. Big problems with their margin, and year over year EPS got hammered in a very bad way. Okay, so it's about 4:45. Again, just to kind of wrap up the stream, and don't want to sound too annoying, but we're giving away $50 for the holiday. Links on the bottom of my screen and also in the comments. The website is pbalerts.com/giveaway. You do not need to be a member of any special group to enter. You don't need to be a part of the Discord to enter. This is just free money we're giving away to anybody. So tell your friends, family, coworkers, give them the link. All you got to do is enter your email. I promise we're not going to spam you, but we're going to use the email entry to pick out the winner. And then also, if you are interested in 4 high probability trade setups sent to your inbox every morning at 9 a.m., check the very first link in the description of the stream. Another thing that's free. Yeah, I love giving out free stuff, right? I don't like coming on here and being a salesman. No one likes that crap. I let my results speak for themselves. You know, if you do join the Discord, you can see my trades and my results, and that's how I sell. But you know, when I do these earnings streams Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm all about free stuff. So enter for the $50 giveaway. That's free, and then you can enter. You can join our 4 high probability trade setups watch list that we do every day. It gets delivered to your inbox at 9 a.m. Eastern every day. And again, it's free. You don't need to pay anything, right? But yeah, other than that, my name's The Swinging Bull with PB Alerts. I had a lot of fun in this stream. It is Thursday, so this is the last earnings stream I'm doing this week. Tomorrow's Friday. Everyone be safe. No need to over trade on a Friday and give back any gains you might have made earlier in the week. I personally like to end the week on a positive note. I do still trade on Fridays. We do an in-person traders. We call it Traders Paradise. It's an in-person event that we do once a year, and I do trade live with the Traders Paradise members every single Friday for an hour, and we've been having a lot of fun in those streams as well. And also, if you're looking for a new home, check out the Discord. Again, you can join the Discord for free. See how you like the free section and go from there. And if you do join, tag me in the chat. I go by The Swinging Bull. I'll put my name back up there. I go by The Swinging Bull on Discord. And if you do join, tag me in the chat. I'll come by and say hello. Maybe we can chat about your situation a little bit. Maybe there's something I can help you out with right away. You never know. But yeah, I hope everyone has a fantastic night, and hope everyone enjoyed the stream. And until next time, I'll see everyone in the very next video. Cheers.